Sim colleagues, we are going to continue our working day and give the floor to the Speaker of the Presidential Administration on the two issue, Colonel Andriy Lysenko. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. We have very good news. Over the last 24 hours, as a result of the active fighting, none of our guys was either killed or wounded. Yesterday, the activity of our enemy or adversary considerably subsided, and the number of cases violating the ceasefire decreased 1.5 or 2 times. In the Mariupol direction, the militants actually shot or bombarded our positions using the mortars, 1, 2, and 2 millimeter mortars and artillery in the area of Mykolaiv and Shrokin. And the next direction, the situation near the airport changed for better greatly, and we did not register any use of the heavy weaponry this sector of our defense. At the same time, some irregular shooting were registered to the south of Donetsk in Mariinsky district and to the north in Lozovay near Svetlodarsk. In the Lugansk direction, our adversary or enemy actually bombarded, used the shooting over the big range of our front line from Popasna to Shastya. They used the infantry armored vehicles and the anti-aircraft artillery guns Zu-132, and the Popasna suburbs were bombarded by artillery using 122 artillery installations, as a result of which one woman was killed, and also they damaged and partially stopped the operation of the Lugansk TPP in Shastya. Over the last day, we recorded 3 flights of the enemy's UAVs. According to our intelligence data, the big part of the Russian hirelings who fight against the ATO forces, they actually plan to stay there for the permanent residents on the occupied territory. To do that, the militants actively seek for the residents, and they try to occupy the liberated or vacated houses. The SBU tries to anticipates the actions and plans of the militants to aggravate the situation in the adjacent regions with the ATO zone. They prevented the attempt to undermine the motor car bridge in Pavlograd. It has been established that they planned other sabotage and the subversive acts on territory of Ukraine, and they actually purchased for this purpose some chemicals and the parts to make the explosive device and mobile telephones for the remote control. And then they managed and planned to flee to the occupied territory after this terroristic act. Also in the Dnipropetrovsk region, our special forces detained a resident of the Dnipropetrovsk town who was actively propagating anti-Ukrainian propaganda using internet resources. He actually provoked the citizens and instigated them to some kind of mass-scale riots and rebellions in the PR and LNR. Here's a video film. In the spring of 2014, in the internet network, I registered in the social networking contact, specifically the defense anti-Maidan group, anti-vandalism of Dnipropetrovsk, who actually disseminate the pro-Russian propaganda information. After that, in the internet network, in contact social network, I was contacted by some unknown person with a request to become an administrator of those pro-Russian groupings and to disseminate, to spread, also to gather information in support of DPR and LPR. What I started to do, He actually was engaged in that, and that's why I was detained by the SBU officers. I really regret about my doings, and I address the Dnipropetrovsk region: be vigilant. The information which is spread in the internet network, and do not heed to the calls of pro-Russian terrorists to overthrow the existing authorities in Ukraine. Thank you. Also, the SBU of Ukraine actually found the lady informant of our enemy, who in the spring of the last year participated in the anti-Ukrainian actions in Severodonetsk. This criminal lady actually collected or was engaged in fundraising for the militants and actually recruited new hirelings. Now she is in the Ukrainian prison. Ukrainian law enforcement officers actually seized the whatever was contained in one of the hideouts. The hideouts with the weapons and the ammunition. They actually found there the guided the anti-tank missile. They also revealed 3 individual medical first aid set. The cartridges for 545, about 5,000 pieces, and 200 pieces of other cartridges. Our census was sent for the examination, and the personalities of the owners of these hideouts, they tried to establish that. Yesterday, the Rivne General Military Range, about 1,000 guys who were drafted during the mobilization took the military oaths. Besides, they complete the training of soldiers on the contract. They passed through the special training. And they also took the oaths about loyalty to Ukrainian people. There also rotation continues in the units of Ukrainian law enforcement agencies serving the zone of ATO. The special battalion Chernigov actually went to the, or let's say, set to the east of Ukraine to replace their brothers at arms in the Stanislavl Luganska. Our military guys are always ready to give the hand to the local civilians. The military, the servicemen, or group of the military and civil cooperation visited the village of Orlovka in the Donetsk region, which is 10 kilometers away from the line of contact, with the humanitarian aid for the local residents. They purchased the foodstuffs owing to the local authorities and the German Society of International Cooperation. The Orlovska Village Council actually received the flour, the buckwheat, and the rice porridge, let's say the oil products, sugar, canned meat, etc. All in all, they purchased over 30 tons of foodstuffs or food products. Our researchers developed another unique discovery for the ATO fighters. The Institute of Physics of the National Academy of Science of Ukraine, they developed special bandages based on the radiationally seamed hydrogels designed for the treatment of wounds and the burns. And the hydrogel bandages actually clean the wound, absorbing different, let's say, effluents or let's say emissions, and they actually can give the chance for the water penetrate. They do not stick to the wounds, which makes the removal of the bandages absolutely painless. And they're also absolutely safe, biocompatible and biologically inert. This exhausts my information. Thank you. Any questions or specifications? None. Thank you very much, Colonel, and